So I'm back again to build some more terrain, but this time it's for 1490 Doom, and this one is a shout out to Salty Sassanek. This one's for you. And as you can see here, this is just me showing off the terrain I've already made. I did it a few months back when I was in another place, so I'm in this situation now, and this is the space I've got. I'm just showing it off. I'm going to try to match the colours as best I can from what I remember. Now this again can be used for Mordheim if you're a Mordheim player, and you'll see me here use the what I've built there, these gates and this small little riser. You could easily build bigger ones that match the stone colours, and there you go, you can raise them up, or you know, whatever you want to do. There's still one thing I haven't made for this stuff, which is ladders, so at some point I will have to get back to it and make myself some ladders for this set. This is me making bricks. As you can see, it's just this is actually all recycled 55mm foam core. It took a while. It almost took a day, or not even a day, just half a day to start getting them all cut up. It took a day because I had to go get the tub to put them all in. So always fun. Now I've made bricks of all different sizes, and you will need some in all different sizes, and you can always cut them up again to whatever bits and pieces you need. But you'll see here, just as I bring the tub into shot, the fact that I made a lot, and I forgot to put the rocks in to shake them all up, but yeah, there's a lot there. Now what you can see here is me pulling out a list and showing it, and this list, I didn't stick to it. It's just a list of stuff that you may need. If you need it, you need it. If you don't, you don't. What you see here there is actually the design. Originally I just sketched up this small little building and then extrapolated it up into this large drawing, and all the measurements are there. It's in centimeters, so I'm sorry if you come from somewhere who uses the old freedom measurements, but you're going to see all of the four sides. Of course, you duplicate the this side that I'm pointing at right now. Yes, two. You need two of them. And the back, you need to add just a little bit of an extra centimeter on the end there to make sure that you have enough for the second floor to sit on, as well as be able to put the building together and have a bit of leeway. So it's always good to have things like that and to plan it out. And yeah, you'll see me start building it next. Now these measurements do match the measurements that I just put up. You can copy them if you want. They're not every building is different. I did a lot of copies in the original set that were, say, three. One that was together, one that was broken, and then what would, you know, destroyed a roof and had the floor exposed, so it would make it easier for people to climb up. And I could put ropes and you could put ladders and things in it. This building is just a real tutorial sort of thing, so it does have the destroyed part. But again, you could just enclose it and then it'd be fine. But if you are going to enclose it, I would suggest taking a couple of bits of offcuts and just putting them in the corners of the building, just to give it a bit of bracing. And yeah, I'll just keep on measuring up here. And again, to make the pitch on the roof, to make it so that the pitch is not steep enough for miniatures to fall off, it's only 1/2 centimeter in the center. You'll see that when you see a close-up of me with the miniature. Oh, with the building, I should say. This is just me showing off that I actually didn't put in the distance between the outside of the door to the wall. So it's now there, the measurements. You could take a screenshot or zoom in if you want, but it just depends on your doors. Also, the doors that I was using were 3D printed. Because my 3D printer's not hooked up at the moment, I'm just not going to put a door on it for the moment. So, plus it's meant to be a destroyed building with the door ripped off. And yeah, we'll, that'll be great. So I'm just showing off the measurements here. Well, the entire piece on the 5mm white foam board. Again, I use the white stuff to build the actual walls because the white stuff is far more sturdy than the the white stuff you can't peel off the paper. The black stuff you can, and you can make bricks out of it. The white stuff, it has this weird mesh in it. Oh, and here I am gluing it all together. This glue, Sally's Aqua here, quick dry wood glue, is a monster. It's a really good PVA. I would suggest if you're going to be doing any terrain building, definitely get yourself some. I've said it in previous videos when I've built Trench Crusade stuff. It'll stick anything together. So definitely give it a shot. Now, you'll also see here, once I glued this together, I really just left it and walked away for a while to let it completely dry. This is me shaking up my bricks because I realised that I hadn't put any stones in there to shake them up, so I had to spend a few minutes shaking them all up and getting them all ready to be stuck on. And now they're ready, I can start putting beads of glue on and just start gluing them on. Now there's no real sort of rule I have other than sort of bigger, larger bricks go at the bottom. I don't know why I started over the door and worked my way down. I usually start at the bottom and work my way up. I don't know. I think just something gripped me in the moment of madness. And there's any major gaps and things at the moment, we'll fix them up later on. But at the moment, it's just about getting your bricks down and having some good music on and just letting it flow. And this is it completely bricked up, and I finished it off and left it just for the evening to dry off. Now this is me cutting up small bricks and fitting them in any of the major holes or things that you found that were really big gaps you don't like, or that are going to cost a lot of uh, filler to fill. Just chop off some bricks and put them in. I'm just getting the PVA in and doing it. The weather definitely changed, as you can see, because I've got from a sunny day in just wearing a t-shirt to back into a wool vest and a jumper again. But yeah, this is me just showing it. Fill in those gaps. Very easy to do, and it does make things look a hell of a lot better. Now we've got ourselves some granny grading, and we're just going to chop up and make the windows. These aren't anything special. They're just, I cut them. I turn the sheet of granny grading using an angle. It's just big enough to fit the hole. Nothing spectacular about it. It can be a bit finicky to get them in there, but I put them in usually with super glue because the PVA just won't hold the plastic sometimes, and if the super glue eats away at the foam, I back it up later on by using some filler to hold it in place. So that'll give it a bit of sturdiness. Well, that's all the windows in, and now I'll have to move on to doing some gap filler, and I'll show you my special recipe for that. You know, it's not too special, but anyway. So this gap filler, sorry you're going to see my elbows flicking away every now and again. It's just your standard house gap filler that anybody can get from any hardware store. Bit of water that you're going to see me spritz in here. I had trouble with the lid, so eventually I just gave up, just moved it. Yeah, you can see me give up. Here we go, here's the water in. Sorry, again, my sleeve's in the way. Yeah, get yourself a ratty brush, crappy brush that you don't really care about. Now this mix I first make, I'm sorry my hands are in the way, I do show it. It's you want to sort of, again, look for a consistency, I've often said it, of toothpaste, not water. And as you can see, this is, well, you can't see right now because I've put my stupid hand in the way. Again, I will show you in a sec, but we're trying to get a paste that is a little bit runnier than the actual spackle is, or filler, or whatever you like to call it. Some people call it bog in the workforce. You know, you see me here. Yep, there we go. Got to get the next. Well, some more of it. I'm sorry about my elbow being in the way. You can't do much when you're trying to mix stuff together. We can actually, you can kind of see it now. I'm actually looking at the camera to make sure you could see it. Should have brought it closer. There we go. Oh, look at that. Clever boy. Yeah, you're starting to see now it's got that kind of fresh ricotta cheese look. Yeah, it's looking a bit better now. You will get this all over yourself, so if you want to wear gloves or something, yeah, a little bit more. Alright, if you think so. Past me. There we go. Yeah, you will get this everywhere. You do see me put some paper towel down. I don't mind getting on my hands because I can wash it off pretty easily, but if you need to wear gloves, wear some gloves. There we go, we're getting nice. Yeah. So now's the secret ingredient here. Hopefully I don't put my fat arm and keep constantly in the way anymore. It's just me cleaning up. I should have just put it aside and cleaned up after. Oh, look here. Yeah, now we're putting paper towel down because here's the moment where I'm actually going to start doing something about the possibility of completely getting crap everywhere. Okay, what I just remembered, this was actually for the wall spackling, that's why. Okay. Now I feel stupid. Of course it's supposed to, yeah, so there isn't actually going to be something added to this. This is for the wall spackling, and on the inside of it, which I kind of actually suggest you do this after you do the outside, side to backwards, is you put this on in a fairly, you know, somewhat thick, doesn't need to be too thick, you're not even looking for too spongy or anything or whatever. And I'm still going here. It's never enough. And then getting your sponge, giving, yep, give it some water on it. Sorry that my elbow's in the way. And then starting to dab it in. And we're trying to create a texture for paint to grab on rather than just having plain walls. And you will have to be careful. I've done it a lot. You're going to hit it with your finger, and the best thing to do is, it doesn't matter if you wipe some of it off or some of it gets bumped and stuff, try to avoid a fingerprint in it is the main thing, because that gives it away for scale and things like that. And you see me here just trying to get me fat mitts in there to try to make it all uniform. Again, having to do the other walls, I had to go back and touch up, so you got a bit of working time for it. But anyway, I'll keep going. I'm actually, well, excuse me, I'm actually going to show you the texture here, but you can see a little bit of it there. But it's just something so that when you do paint the inner walls, yeah, do all 4 of them, you'll be able to have something that paint will grab. Okay, so now we've got all 4 walls done. This is the magic trick for doing the outside. I'm sorry, it's raining here. If you do hear the rain, I'm sorry. I've got nowhere else to record right now. So this is the magic bit and the magic tool. You need a spatula or a painting palette knife. And this is tile grout and dehydrated coffee grounds. And I'm going to get it all together in there and mix it up. I'm not sure if I added water or some more water, but this is how I get my texture. Now, what I should have done was just before this, I should have hit the building with a rock or something just to add a bit more texture, because it still afterwards still looked a bit more uniform than what I like. I should have rolled a rock on it or something just to add a bit more texture. But this is going to add bits and pieces all over it. And again, just using the brush to stir it all together. Hopefully the water that's already in it will be enough to make it all go together. It's not too bad. Again, you don't need the grout in it, and you don't necessarily need coffee if you want to use something else. It's just to add texture, really. Just so it doesn't look exactly like it's just grout or it's just wall spackle through it. I've seen people do wall spackling after they've painted as well, and they just water it down quite heavily and wash it over. I've tried that before, and I just found that I prefer painting it all myself. As you'll see in the next video, which will be the painting video. This will just simply be for the build. I'm going to get in close here and show you that the consistency of this is the same, but it kind of looks like cookies and cream, melted ice cream, I guess. And yeah, that's the grout and the coffee grounds together. Yep. I'm sorry I'm closing stuff up, but I don't want to spill it because it's all I got right now, that stuff. Now, you'll need a bit of towel. The towel, you'll see me use it. It's for the after bit. And you'll need water handy. As you see, I've got my painting thing at the ready there. Or my jar of water, I should say. And again, this is just, anybody who's ever done cake decorating, you're going to love this. It's straight up, it's just getting it everywhere. Yeah, you can get it inside the windows as well. If you feel like it's a bit loose with the granny grating in there, just put your finger on the other side and sort of put it in there, and you'll see me later on come back with a wet brush and clean up the grating to get rid of any of the overspill onto it. But there is yeah, nothing really to this. You just want it in all the cracks as best you can, even in the doorway. I've just realized too that doorway is meant to have a wooden frame around it that I haven't put on by the end of this video, so I'll have to go back. Oh no, I can't. Well, it doesn't matter, I'll just not worry about it. Doesn't matter. But you can put a wooden frame in the door if you like. It'll just be a house without a door frame then. But yes, you'll see me put it all in the doors. I wish I hadn't have held it so high, I'm sorry. I couldn't see myself recording it. Hopefully when I get a better setup, I won't do silly things like this, and I'll be more aware of it. Yeah, just scraping away like that. It's not too bad on the inside texture. Just you have to be careful not to destroy it. You can't even see what I'm doing, I'm sorry. Doesn't really matter too much, it's just, you know, palette knife scraping essentially. You'll also see me clean up the edges and then scrape across it to save as much as I can, because you don't need, yeah, there we go. You don't need a lot on there. You just need to fill the gaps. And that brick on top too, the sort of keystone right in the middle of the top, I don't know if that's what you'd call it, I did trim it to the pitch so that it would match, even though later on you'll see me cut a hole in it to get the wooden roof in. That's me just cleaning up around the hole there. I do come in like with a brush because the palette knife won't fit. The best thing though is that the palette knife is flat and you can get it in there and then scrape out from the other side and clean up. Excuse me. All right. Yeah, it's just me just doing more of it. There we go. It's looking all right. Now the next part, as I've said, is something that actually really helps sink it down into the grout lines. And you wet a piece of towel. And I should have another bit of towel on standby. Now it has to be pretty wet because you want water to actually wash across the surface, and just rub it down. Doesn't have to be hard, just hard enough to, you know, get the larger bits off the stone and push it to the grout lines, or where the grout lines are, and it just cleans it up a bit and exposes the stones enough so that when we paint them, we'll be painting the stones and not a pile of grout. You'll see me here. I'll grab another. Do I grab another bit of towel? No. Might have been dry enough. We're just using that. And this is, oh yeah, this is me just putting some more of it in the window frames, just to hold that granny grating down and create the texture of the windows going in, and clean up. Yeah, this is me actually showing you now, because, well, hard angle. Sorry. My wrist does not bend the opposite way. And yeah, I'm just touching up the door. So this is, yeah, again, something simple, and make it your own. Always do with these things, as I've said in previous videos, you always need to make these things your own. You'll find you'll become faster and enjoy it a lot more when your own recipes and skills. But that's it. And yeah, looks really good. This is me going in with a wet brush and then cleaning up around the windows, and then also adding on to this damaged part of the building, as these I want to build up the broken stone, whatever's hit this, or whether it's fallen, the roof has fallen in, or whatever's happening. I'm using the leftover paste to add to it, and all it is again just building it up and slathering it on, and just having us at the moment, and then coming back in with a slightly wet brush, and then dabbing it all down, to being in the to create more cracks and more damage. And you'll see me even here put it on the top of the bricks, and that'll hold all those bricks on. So yeah, it's just something else to bring it all together. And, and this is the back of it. And as you can see, the back has a very different look. It's all using the brush. Now all this leftover grout you've made, put it in a container. As you can see, I'm putting it on a plastic one, and this you can easily make into anything for your bases or anything like that. It's great for creating city rubble or broken city bricks or anything like that. So always put it into something flat, and you'll see me spread it all out and make it look all, you know, weird and stuff. I end up having to take some out again, as you'll see, for fixing up a bit of. Oh, I didn't do the roof. That was it. This is me just putting that bit of, you'll see I've just fixed the roof, that's all, with the bit of leftover brick stuff. What we're seeing here is I'd used the hairdryer to actually dry it, and you can see a crack here has formed down this seam line. I've actually never had that happen before with any of my buildings, and it's slightly bowed out, but it'll be okay. When we glue in the floor, it kind of just goes away. I think as well, I went and had lunch and I let it cool down, so it fixed itself. And now we're cleaning off some space, and we're going to bring in the next stage, which is our wood. I would just say that I have the packets of wood here, but I ended up using, for the big chunky ballast bits, is actually not balsa wood, it's actually a bamboo stick. So with these wall, I suppose you call them joists, you'll see me here, I've measured them up to fit in the area, and I'm just going to score them with my knife here, and then I just use my hands and I just snap it, because I just I needed to just it needs to look damaged, and that was the best way to do it. And yeah, with a bit of whittling and cleanup, we'll make it look good and get rid of that spiky bit. This is my inner whittler coming out here. Um, Again, just adding texture. It just makes them come out looking much better, far more interesting, especially when they go on the wall. I often found these popsicle sticks, or whatever you like to call them, wherever you are, lollipop sticks or whatever, they often have a lot of trouble transferring the scale. So you'll see me here just measuring them up, and then weathering them with the knife, and gluing it in. But before that, I hit it with a wire brush, and the wire brush just brings out a wood grain texture, and it just adds something to it that I didn't have. So I would suggest doing the same. Oh, this stick is bent up to wax, so I just ended up not using that half of it, because it was going to be no good for using for anything. Yeah, always be careful with your knife too. If that's not clear, I've nearly lost the tip of my finger. doing things, so be careful. Yeah, just always double check that it fits after you've cut it. So we've got that floor in place now, and what I'm doing here is I'm cutting out a small divot in the roof to put in this wooden brace that's going to be the roof. And as you can see here, I'm using it to actually measure up the hole. Always be careful. My fingers are fairly calloused, so these kind of things, they don't cut me or anything anymore, but you will be cut. Even the wire brush as well. I'm lucky that I've got, you know, a bit of callus on my fingers, so I don't feel it as much as I used to. But yeah, you're just seeing me here chopping the hole out, and I come in at an angle here to get that one bit out, and the other bit I sort of just flick it out. And again, the piece of wood that's going in there has been textured and cut up to fit. I just use it sort of there to rub it in the hole to get it as a perfect fit, and it'll just sit there, as you can see. Now, the next thing to do was the actual roof slatting. And as you can see, the slats go down the buildings directly vertical, or horizontal, I should say, because you're looking at it vertically. And I was worried that the actual pieces of, well, the popsicle sticks weren't long enough to do these buildings completely. And you'll see me here come to the magical finding that the popsicles are actually big enough with the ends trimmed off to do the entire building. So next time I know that if I do make a full one of these buildings, I can just use the whole popsicle stick to fill it in. So yeah, I'm going to now make the braces or slats for the roof to be able to put all the shingles on. These aren't anything special. Again, we're just adding texture to them, hitting them with a wire brush, and at the end I also use my pliers just to break it off a bit, and I break them off and then hit them with the wire brush, and it's just to add the broken look. So whether this roof has fallen apart by weather or battle, it at least looks damaged and will look the part. And this texture, whether it's seen or not, it will be seen at the end with a bit of wood sticking out at least. At least it'll give something for the glue to grab onto. Yeah, it'll help in some way. You've seen me here, this is it done. I've put a brace across it. That was just to hold everything together, and I've done it with other buildings. I was just a little bit worried. Now I had to use the PVA and then a little bit of CA glue on top just to hold it all together. And these are the roof slats. Now they're made from cardboard. There's the size. For some reason my brain did not work, and it took me ages to figure out the sizing for this. And the cardboard I'm using is actually from a drink box, and the box that cans come in, because they're just a little bit more sturdier plastic, and cardboard, and they just stand up a bit better, and they take paint and everything pretty well. And I suppose for the cans, they're for weather damage and things like that. Oh, well, water damage, I should say. So they glue pretty well. And again, we're just trying to make this roof look like a real roof. For some reason, my brain just went into stupid mode, and I could not get my brain figured out that 1 centimeter by 1.5, and I ended up adding on centimeters and all this other stuff. I didn't waste any cardboard because I just trimmed off the bit I put on extra, but it was a total brain snafu. And again, using just normal glue and then I've aligned it so that it doesn't go over the roof edge. That way when the buildings butt up together, they still stay modular. It's something you have to be aware of. And that's the roof done, all shingled up. And it's I hit it with a hairdryer just to get all the glue nice and dry. Very, very happy with it. But as you can see on this original one, there's this, you'll get a good look at it in a sec. They will butt up, there's a distance, but there is something else. There is actually one more thing, yep. There is a very tiny texture on it that is holding the paint here and there. Now, whether that is some kind of detritus on the roof or bird droppings or whatever you want to do, I'm just going to add a bit of this coffee and grout mixture. Again, this is another palette knife, this is my smaller one. And we're just going to do that with a bit of water off this brush that's been sitting in that sort of, it's got glue and grout and everything in that mix, so it'll probably help no matter what. You see me actually add a few drops of the water from it directly because it has everything in it that'll help it stick. Yep. And you'll see I've got a nice bit of slurry there. And again, there's grout in the thing too, it can help, wouldn't hurt. And yeah, I'm just putting it in there and then I'm pushing it up as if it got stuck under the tiles. Again, you could always do whatever you want, you know, later on you can add leaves and things if you have leaves, or I do have some myself, but I didn't do a theme with leaves on these. I just wanted it fairly generic, but I wanted some kind of texture to be on the roofs. Might be a bit too much on this, but oh well, it's probably going to get covered up here and there, or drop away while I'm painting it or something. But it's just something simple to add a bit more to it. And there it is, all said, all done. And moving on, these are all the sort of glory shots. Again, there'll be another tutorial for the painting part. So if you want to come back and see that, that'd be great. I've got to undercoat it now, and I'll probably have to do that just now because I've got cold weather here, so hopefully it'll dry fast enough. But yeah, just another shout out to Salty Sassenach. Thank you very much for being interested and asking, you know, for me to actually do something like this. And again, thank you very much for watching. And if you could, I know everybody says this, but like and share, that'd be great. Thank you. I enjoy doing this. Cheers.